Jungkook was in the center of it all. His hand was gripping someone small and familiar. Her heart leaped into her throat when she realized who it was, Minjun. No, she whispered, her body freezing in place. Her little brother, his innocent face twisted in fear, was caught in Jungkook's tight grip, the guns pointed at him. Without thinking, she ran. She ran towards them without even caring about the consequence she might face. Minjun, she cried, rushing towards them. Jungkook's cold gaze met hers, and she saw a flicker of something, curiosity perhaps, in his eyes. Please, let him go. The guards pointed the gun at her when she tried to snatch him out of Jungkook's grip. Who is he? Wa'en looked up at him with her teary eyes. My brother, please let him go, please. He is just a child. He stared at her for a moment. His grip on her brother tightened for a moment before he slowly released him, pushing him towards her. Minjun stumbled and Wa'en caught him, holding him close. Your brother was caught sneaking around. Care to explain? Her lips raised. What could she say? How could she explain without making things worse? Her pulse thundered in her ears. He's just a curious boy, she said, clutching Minjun tightly. He didn't mean any harm. Please forgive him. He closed his eyes, wanting to say something, but then he just told his guard to put the guns down. Take him to your quarter. Make sure he doesn't wander off again. She didn't need to be told twice. Scooping him into her arm, she hurried back into his small quarter room. Inside the quarter room, she gently caressed his head, her fingers running through his hair as she tried to calm her racing heart. Why are you here, Minjun? Who told you to come here? Didn't I want you to stay away from this place? I just wanted to meet you, Nona. It's been weeks. You visited last time and I missed you, he said, wiping away the tears streaming down his sister's face. I'm sorry. I'm a bad brother. I caused you trouble. No, my baby, you didn't cause any trouble. You're not a bad brother. I was just afraid. But I made you cry and I made that scary man mad. I didn't mean to. It's okay, she whispered, holding him tightly. You didn't know. You just wanted to see me, and that's not wrong. But you have to understand, this place is dangerous. The people here are dangerous. I know, but I think that's scary. Uncle can help us. No, Minjun, how can I make you understand? The people here, they are worse than anything you can imagine. Worse than the people you encounter in our home. They won't even think for a second before they hurt you. You'll have to stay away from them. Then you shouldn't be working here. If it's so dangerous, why are you here? Because I don't have many choices. Because we need the money. I have to take care of you. Make sure we have food and a place to stay. This job is the only way I can do that right now. He cupped her cheeks just like she do before kissing her forehead. I love you, Wa'en. You are the best sister ever. One day I will be big and strong and you won't have to do this anymore. I will take care of you. I will make sure we are safe and you won't have to be scared. Tears filled her eyes, but she chuckled and started kissing his forehead. I love you too, my big boy. You know what? You are too serious for a 12-year-old. Yes, I'm big. He said, flexing his muscles, and she started to tickle him until he grew tired and slipped in her arm. She continued to caress his head, not being able to sleep. The event of the day had left her shaken and restless. She was afraid that Jungkook would kill her brother. Without a second thought, it was a fear since she saw him killing a man dead on the spot. But when he didn't ask much questions, she was actually surprised. She closed her eyes but couldn't bear the restless thoughts anymore. She shifted Minjun on the bed, making sure he was comfortable before quietly slipping out of the room. She needed some water, something to calm her nerves. She wrapped the blanket to settle over him, but before that, something caught her attention, and it was the second time she felt her heart drop that night. She bent down, her hand shaking a little as she noticed the bruise on his pale skin. No, this is... She had lifted his shirt up, her breathing became uneven as she stared at him. It wasn't one or two, his body looked badly injured. Red, fresh marks on his body. Minnie! Tears blurred her vision as she carefully touched one of the bruises, her heart breaking at the thought of the pain he must have endured behind her. So that's why he wanted to meet her. But he didn't tell her. He hid it from his own sister. She was feeling awful. What kind of sister she is, who can't keep her brother safe from the monsters? She bit her lip, trying to keep herself quiet as not to wake him. It was obvious who did this to him. There was one person in her life that made her life a living nightmare. She covered him with a blanket, wiping away her tears. She needed to calm her nerves down. As she reached kitchen, she poured herself a glass of water and took a sip. It was too late. No one was allowed to roam in the mansion yet, so she just had to sneak back in her room as quietly as possible without getting in trouble. But she heard a low voice spoke from the shadows. She nearly dropped the glass. Can't sleep? She spun around, heart leaping into her throat. Jungkook stood there half in shadow, watching her with those intense, unreadable eyes. I'm sorry, sir. I just came here for water. I will go back. I didn't mean to disturb you. He stepped closer, the soft rays lighting up his features. He looked impossibly handsome and dangerously intimidating. You then, he said, his voice a low murmur. What's on your mind? She swallowed hard, lowering her gaze. Nothing, I was thirsty. He took another step closer. Is that so? You seem troubled. She forced herself to meet his gaze, her heart pounding in her chest. It's nothing like that, sir. He moved even closer, his presence overwhelming. She could feel the heat radiating off his body, his scent, a mix of cologne and something uniquely him, filling her senses. Your brother, how old is he? She hesitated before responding. He is 12. So young, and you take care of him all by yourself? She nodded again. But how do you manage when you most of the time stay here? I manage and he manages too. We get by. He studied her for a moment, his dark eyes probing. Why did you lie about it? I just had to, she stammered. For what reasons? She stayed silent. Why did she lie? Because she was afraid that if he knew the extent of her struggles, he would see her as weak, vulnerable, pathetic, and even though she was mere maid, she didn't want to appear as some weak girl who anyone can take advantage of. But there was more to it than just fear. There was shame, a deep-seated sense of shame that gnawed at her inside. Shame for not being able to protect her brother better. Shame for being trapped in a cycle of abuse and desperation. Shame for having no resort to lies just to survive. And now, seeing her brother bruises there, was guilt for dragging him into her mess, for exposing him to the danger of their harsh world, for failing to give him the carefree childhood he deserved. Look at me when I'm speaking to you. She looked up hesitantly, meeting his gaze. His eyes were dark, unreadable, but there was something in them that made her heart skip a beat. Because that's what I thought was best. He is all I have, and I don't anything happening to him. And you think I would hurt him? She looked down. I don't know. I have seen what people are capable of.